Spoony, he's on your left! Ligara, watch out! Get out of there, nostalgia critic! Failures!
I've recently gone on an XCOM nostalgia binge, spurred on by the recently announced new XCOM revival from 2K Games.
And that word, betrayal!
What?
Betrayal! Betrayed me! This game sucks! It has nothing to do with XCOM. Nothing! Nothing!
And as some of you may already know, it's being turned into yet another first-person shooter instead of the strategy game that we all know and love. Remaking a game like this is dangerous, especially this classic. If you change too much, the hardcore fans demand the heads of the developers. And some even ask why it's called XCOM at all. Change too little and people seem to forget that if you don't change new aliens and new tactics, the game loses a certain sense of mystery, the alien feeling, the unknown, the fear behind encountering new alien species types. That, and people will complain that it's still not as good as the original. Initially, like you, I wanted blood from 2K Games for not giving me the strategy game that I wanted. But I decided after my interview and demo time with the game at E3 that I'm gonna go ahead and give this game a chance. But after a few weeks, I have to admit I was still longing for the turn-based strategy and tactics in the original. Luckily, I was able to pick up the entire XCOM collection on Steam for like $4 at the time. Hell, it was so cheap that I even bought the XCOM knockoffs, the UFO series, in a mad attempt to find the best of a lot, the successor to the original actual XCOM series, because all of those sequels in the XCOM name were either extremely disappointing or downright buggy and difficult to play. But then I discovered a game just like the original, a real spiritual sequel, does exist. The game everybody has been asking for, XCOM2 Enemy Unknown, has actually already been released back in 2007. No, I'm not talking about the UFO series of games, Afterlife, Afterbirth, Aftershock, Aftermath. Those games use a sort of a mix between real-time strategy and turn-based. It's like timeshare or something, quasi-real-time battles. And no, I'm not talking about the many completely free but raw fan projects. Some of them are good, but others can get a little weird.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss by wire. Baby, my heart's on fire.
No! I'm talking about one that stays completely faithful to the original XCOM Enemy Unknown. Picking up from where that one left off, even reusing some of the sounds and reworking the music. Staying as extremely close to the original as possible, maybe even to its detriment. It's called UFO Extraterrestrials, an extremely long name. It may not be official, but it is damn close. Too close. I wonder if lawyers are even gonna bust down their door for me letting you know about the game. The game, like the original XCOM, is divided into two main parts. You've got your global strategic view and your tactical battles. In your global view or geoscape, you essentially construct your bases, hire troops, research weapons, manufacture those weapons, and monitor the globe for alien activity, sending out interceptors to shoot down alien UFOs, and if they're shot down over a continent, then sending your troop transport filled with all your soldiers out to go and attack the enemy, which leads into the tactical battle. Now, the geoscape and all the management sections of the game have been simplified here just a little bit. In this one, you're only allowed to have one main base. You could still construct other bases around the world, but you're only going to be able to construct hangars and base defenses there, while your main base is where all of the research, the manufacturing, the alien containment facilities, and your scientists are all housed. And I think that actually is more consolidated and easier to control. Base management, again, simplified. You no longer have to keep track of your storage space. Also, when the craft return to your base, it appears that they automatically rearm. The troop loadout is saved, so next time when you go out, it's the same loadout with the same troops. And they also rearm all your troops with additional ammo, health, medipacks, all that stuff. There's some quasi-new things, like instead of watching an animation play out between your interceptor and UFOs when you send one out to intercept, it's all in real time. So it's real fun to get to watch your interceptors chase down and fire back and forth at each other between these UFOs. The tactical battles are where this game shines though. All the nostalgic feelings return to me as my troops rush down the ramp to set up a defensive perimeter, and I send out my tank to figure out where the concentration of aliens are. And as in any good XCOM, you can rename all of your soldiers. And now that I have plenty new buddies from That Guy with the Glasses and ChannelAwesome.com, I have plenty of cannon fodder. I mean, best friends that I need to make sure I keep alive throughout all the missions.
You all!
The game was developed by a Czech company, Chaotic, back in 2007, so you have to be willing to deal with some of the game's shortcomings, like the graphics. One good thing though is since the original release back in 2007, the edition available now is actually a gold edition, which includes a lot of the best mods out there from their community integrated right into their game. And these mods address some of the main complaints that were in the reviews at the time, almost addressing all of them. Handpicking our own recruits, adding alien swarm, improving the AI, and other miscellaneous patches that give us ultimately the best version of the game. The drawbacks, aside from the dated nature, is what I mentioned before. There's really nothing new here. It's the same game from 14 years ago with updated graphics, new aliens, and a little bit less of the tedious micromanagement. Admittedly, it starts off kind of excruciatingly slow, but as the game throws more and more advanced aliens at you, and you research and pick up their weapons and technology, the game really starts to flow. And like the original, it somehow feels as if the best way to fill up a campaign is hundreds of missions of pretty much doing the same thing, just killing aliens and picking up their weapons for researching later. One of the objectives that the game isn't very clear on, another thing, is that you have to eventually start capturing commander units, which are different colored aliens with stun grenades and stun rods. Make sure you do that, because that's the only way to advance the story, what little there is. But XCOM fans will feel right at home. Whereas Enemy Unknown would have rated 10 out of 10 for its time, UFO Extraterrestrials only manages a 7 out of 10, which is great, and in my opinion is the best XCOM clone out there. And yes, I have played all of them, and there's a lot. I can't exactly compete with games released nowadays, but it is from a small developer. These guys don't have the limitless resources that a juggernaut like 2K Games has. But for what they had, I think they did a great job. And if you're one of those that felt betrayed by the new XCOM from 2K Games, then you owe it to yourself and to Chaotic Games to try this one out. Put your money where your mouth is. There are those developers out there who remain loyal to the turn-based strategy games when really this genre isn't made anymore. It should be your duty to support them. I know I was happy to. Hell, you can even find this game on Steam for 10 bucks nowadays. Even less on sale. So don't be afraid to purchase it. Hell, at that price, you could buy it on principle alone. And there's even a sequel in the works, UFO 2, Shadows of Earth. It'll certainly be worth a look until 2K Games releases their reimagining. Now I'm gonna be honest here, this game is enjoyable only because it straight copies the original. But that's exactly what I wanted right about now. If you're constantly bitching about the original in the face of the new XCOM from 2K Games, then check this one out. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show.
Betrayed me! This game sucks! It has nothing to do with XCOM! Nothing! Nothing!
Maybe this is the birth of Angry Spony.